Alright, so I'm going to show you a way that I think you can approach creating a helmet. However, there are multiple ways you can take to complete a helmet design. So the first thing I'm going to do is I really want to focus on using a loft method. So I'm going to sketch my helmet design on the right plane. So let me start with this spline tool here, and I'm just going to create like a helmet shape or outline of my helmet. Let me bring this down. So my objective right now is to create the Magneto helmet. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you real quick. So I'm going to create something like this old school X-Men Magneto helmet. And you can create whatever helmet you want, it doesn't really matter. If you want to create a Star Wars helmet, Star-Lord helmet, you can do that. That's pretty intense. There's a Star Wars. You can do any kind of helmet, really. Let's see. Popular helmets. Alright. You can do any kind of helmet you want. Alright, so let me just go back to my design. And you can pick whatever helmet your heart desires. So I'm going to do a sketch here. This looks pretty good. Actually, let me ensure that dimensions are appropriate for a helmet. Let's see, what's the dimension here? 9.4 inches. Yeah, I'd say that's appropriate. Alright, so let me go ahead and finish my sketch. This is the side view of my helmet. So let me go ahead and create the bottom view here. So I'm going to sketch down here. Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to sketch there. I am going to create a new plane, and I'm going to make sure that it is the line angle, so that way when I click on this line, it creates a plane along that line. And I'm going to draw on that plane there. So let me go ahead and sketch on this plane. I'm going to use a spline tool. Make sure they're interacting. Okay, so it looks pretty decent. I can always go in and change it. So I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Actually, let me reduce it slightly. It's probably best if I make this one a little outer. Okay, cool beans. Now make sure that you connect these 2 points so that way you have a closed sketch. And now we can loft between these 2 planes. So if I loft between these 2 planes, it's going to generate something, or it might generate something, I'm not too sure. But the best thing to do first is to make sure that you have some guidelines to kind of help with your design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane that's offset from the front plane. And if I look at my top view, I'm going to create a guide rail there. Let me do another one. I'm going to select the front plane. I'm going to create another plane over here. And let me go ahead and start doing some sketches on these planes. So I'm going to sketch on this plane 2 real quick. Now I'm going to create the... Actually, scratch that. I'm tripping. Let me sketch on the actual front plane first, because that's going to be my overall profile of my helmet. So let me select the spline tool here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my isometric view. Make sure that you pierce, so use this pierce constraint. Select the sketch and then make sure that they're intersecting. So use the pierce tool to make sure that your sketch here and this point are intersecting. Alright, so that's going to be my profile, and I'm going to create a profile here on plane 2 and on plane 3 as well. So let me sketch on plane 2. Yeah, I'm not sure I like this, but let me go ahead and edit it. Again, it's probably best to make these lines horizontal. And these lines vertical. Well, maybe not those lines. Alright, so it's going to be my second guideline there. And make sure that you pierce this. Make sure that you pierce this. So I'm going to select the pierce constraint, select the sketch, then the point. Okay, so select there, and now they're constrained. Alright, I'm going to go in and just push that out a little. It depends on what kind of shape you want for your helmet. It's all relative, it's all depending on your, whatever you want. What strikes your fancy. Alright, so let me do one more sketch on plane 3. I might just follow the outline of plane 2 sketch. But, of course, most important, make sure that you're piercing the point in the sketch, point and the sketch. Alright, that looks Gucci. I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch, and I'm going to hide these planes here. Alright, cool beans. Let me go ahead and go to Loft. I'm going to select my sketch, my plane 1, sketch 2, and sketch 1, and then for guide paths, select your 3 guide paths. Alright, cool. There's a portion of your helmet. Let's go ahead and select the check mark here. Let me go ahead and mirror this. So I'm going to select the mirror tool. I'm going to select the part. Click here where it says mirror plane, then select this surface right here. And then make sure you're adding it with part 1. So there's your structure for your helmet. Of course, you can go in and make sure that you edit these contours if you don't like your structure. And let's go ahead and let's see, what can we do? We can use the, what if I use the shell? I'm going to use the shell. Okay, so it doesn't let me shell it. What if I do 0.05? Alright, that didn't work. So what if I delete face and leave open? And let me go ahead and thicken this. 0.05. Alright, I guess it's not going to merge with the scope, so I'm just going to do new. Now I got two faces. What if I do Boolean? Hey. Okay. That's my issue. What if I do fill? Okay, so that didn't work. I deleted that thicken. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to shell, select the bottom face, and let me see if I can just make it super thin. If I hollow it out, okay, so if I hollow it out, make it super thin, then now I'm going to go to delete face, leave open, let's see, delete face, leave open. Okay, so there it is. Cool beans. Alright, so let me go ahead and continue. Yeah, you might have trouble with that, so if you're going to use the shell, just make it super thin or thin enough to where it would actually form. Okay, so let me do a pattern. Again, I'm doing the Magneto helmet, so I'm going to do the Magneto pattern. And let me create the plane that's offset the front plane. Right here is good. Alright, so let me go ahead and do a sketch on this plane. And I'm going to do the pattern for the Magneto helmet. Or something similar to that, anyway. Alright, let me mirror this. And then I'm going to finish my sketch by connecting these 2 points. And let me go ahead and extrude this sketch. Definitely outward. I'm going to remove it. Alright, so what I did didn't work. Let me try a different approach. Let me just go ahead and sketch right here on the front plane. And again, I'm going to go ahead and create the design for the Magneto helmet. Let me go ahead and mirror this across that line. And then complete this sketch by creating this line here. Now let me go ahead and extrude this. by removing it. Okay, so I got this. Let me just go ahead and see if I could delete some faces. I'm going to go ahead and select yeah, so leave open. Alright, so I got the shell of a helmet here. So now let me go ahead and create some detail. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and sketch right here on the right plane. And let me add a circle here. It doesn't matter the radius, I guess. Let's see what works. It may or may not work. But we're going to use the sweep tool. And our sweep path is going to be here. Alright, so if it works in one direction, it could work in both directions, and it does. So let me go ahead and make it select new. Okay, so we got the outer trim. So your objective is to use the loft function, use the sweep function, and then lastly use the variable function. So we have the loft and sweep done, so let me go ahead and add some more design here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane that's offset the front. And I'm going to use this plane, I really don't care where, as long as it's in front of the actual helmet. I'm going to go ahead and create the design that I want for the helmet. So let me do a sketch on this new plane here. And I'm going to do a sketch for my helmet. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna use the symmetric tool. Click the two lines and then click the one in the middle. Requires a line. Okay, so I'm going to put a line here. I'm going to make it a construction line. And I'm going to use the symmetric tool. So click the two. Alright, so they're all symmetric about that line, and what I want to do is I'm going to dimension this, but I'm going to call it, design. And it's going to be a length variable. Okay, so there's my design. Now let me go ahead and create another sketch. So I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to create another sketch on the side view here, on the right view. And I'm just going to do a spline to see if I can model the surface of the helmet. Again, a lot of the things that I'm trying may or may not work. Depends on your approach. So if it doesn't work, try again, try editing some of the features. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool right here called projected curve. I'm going to select my sketch, and then the second sketch is going to be this curve, and notice the pattern is kind of embedded onto the helmet now. So now let me use the fill option to fill that in, and I'm going to use the thicken option, thicken tool here. I'm going to do 0.125 in both directions. Okay, so there's my design. So I have my, there you go. So now I have my variable, I have my sweep, and I have my loft. And those are the three requirements that we need for this project. So you need at least a variable, a sweep, and a loft, okay, to create your helmet. Now you can tell it's a variable because if you were to double click this, type in something else like 2, you could see that change in design. Okay, so that's your objective. See if you can accomplish that.